welcome to Veterans Onward to Prosperity. I sure hope you're having a good day or evening or night or whatever you happen to be enjoying, I hope, as you're watching this show. I'm your host, Master Sergeant Anna Maria Bliven, and today's show is the fourth show that we're taping. The month of April is all about Mission Money Possible. We talked about in the first show about making money with employment, and then we followed that up with another show talking about credit and talking about how to basically keep your money from flying away. We also then talked with a money coach, and she showed us how to keep our money in its place. And so that, again, we are in control of our finances. Today, we're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to all of our hearts, and that is benefits. We can stretch our dollars and live a good life using our benefits. And one of those benefits for most of us, if not all of us, is disability, service connection disability. Our host today, I'm your host. Our guest today talks about the disability benefits and gives us more information so that we can act upon it because we earned those benefits, folks. We're also going to talk about vets, helping vets, and we're also going to talk about emergency funds. When your back is up against the wall, where can you go for emergency funding? So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Mike Merwin here, U.S. Navy retired submarine officer turned entrepreneur. I turned my hobby of 25 plus years making beef jerky into a thriving small business. Made in small batches with only high quality ingredients, it's not good, it's crazy good. A portion of all proceeds helps save military lives. Order now on www.crazymikesjerky.com using code CB10 for 10% off.
Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Master Sergeant Anna Maria Bliven, and my guest today is Carlos Ramirez. Say hi, Carlos.
How you doing, Anne-Marie?
Hi, Carlos. So I'm going to let my audience know that you are a naval officer.
No. I was enlisted. 20 years Navy enlisted.
Okay, 20 years. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Thank you for yours.
You're welcome. Okay, so Army, Navy, here we go. I am so excited that we're going to talk about disability benefits because there's quite a few of us that feel as though that's not something we should be talking about because maybe we really should shy away from it. And then there's others that it's like, give me the paperwork. I can't wait to get this started. So can you kind of balance that out, Carlos?
So yes, disability benefits is one of my favorite subjects to talk about, just because we as veterans deserve our benefits. Hence why I started the company back in 2018. I didn't feel that veterans that the military did a good job of educating us on getting benefits and stuff like that as we were leaving the military. So I just took it upon myself to be that voice for veterans that there is opportunities for to get your disabilities increased or get your disabilities altogether. Definitely something that especially a lot of us found out last year during the pandemic, where a little bit of cash probably went a long way, as some of us got laid off. The hours got, some hours got reduced. So we could have used that little bit of money. And it's not a handout. It's something that we earned, that all of us earned. So definitely, we need to make sure that we're taking advantage of that situation of our disability benefits, not just for us, but they help our families as well. Now we got to think of what these benefits do to our for our families. So definitely something to consider. I always recommend, if you haven't applied, or if you applied a while ago and you think your disabilities got worse, to reach out to me. Let's see what we can do and get those disability ratings increased.
So how do we get started? So we're also be talking with the warriors that are our viewers. And
Okay.
warriors are those folks that haven't yet finished their service, but I would surely hope that they're planning for the day that they finish serving in the military. So warriors, please listen up as Carlos is telling us more about these disability benefits. What is the first step?
The first step, if you haven't applied for disability benefits, is I recommend, especially if you're still in the service and about to get out, almost transitioning. I'd say if you're within eight to 12 months of transitioning, to get with the VA rep that's on your installation and see about starting those appointments and getting that done. The process is so much easier doing it if you start while you're in service. If you
Yeah, the records are still there.
Exactly. A lot of times what I've found out, that some records are lost, some buildings got burnt down. And like I help Vietnam veterans that so it's hard to get those records. So if you start the process while you're still in or just recently separated, it is so much easier for you, the process is, and shorter too. So one of the lengthy things is waiting for those records from different from the VA, getting them in your hands. So I recommend definitely starting the process by contacting your VA rep at your installation and setting up those appointments.
Fantastic. So when should they start setting up those appointments? Oh, by the way, let me let you guys know, it's a process. You start the paperwork, but then you go for doctor's visits, you go for more documentation, you go for interviews. You're even seen by a doctor that is not your doctor, that actually checks to see that your disability condition is real. And then from there, there's a determination, and the determination could take a little bit, right?
Absolutely, and you're absolutely correct. So for every disability that you have, you don't see you'll see a specialist for that. So if you have something wrong with your back, you'll see somebody for your back. If you have headaches, you'll see somebody for your headaches. Usually those doctors don't treat the same conditions. So depending on the different conditions that you have to see multiple doctors. But in the long run, definitely worth it to make sure that everything that you have in your record or any kind of disability that you think you have is annotated and documented.
Right. So if you haven't already started pulling that all together, I totally recommend you do. Right? Get all of those records together. And you know what? You can get your own records. It may take a little bit, but if you've been seen from the TMC on post, you can go to the TMC and you can get your records. If you've been at the VA hospital, they have a records division or department, and you go visit with them and you get your records. You are definitely eligible to get your own records.
A lot of times what they have you do is request your C file, and that's a process altogether. You would call it's a 1-800 number for the VA, the customer service, and start that process. That process takes a little bit. it can take literally a couple of months for them to send you those records. So if you're transitioning within a year from now, I recommend getting those records, starting that process, so that way you're not waiting until you get out and then asking for those records.
That's if you're processing out from a active military service. If you're Guard or Reserve, then you're probably being seen by a private doctor. And once again, you really need to gather all together what it is that you're claiming. So if you have a hearing issue, you got to get your hearing documents. If you've got a sight issue, you get the drift. If you've got a back issue, that could take a little bit of time because they test that.
Absolutely. And that's a good point, Anne-Marie. So if you're seeing civilian doctors, you want to get all those records, but you also want to make sure that you get your military records, so that that ankle that you twisted while you were in boot camp and it fractured or whatever, it's annotated somewhere, and then they have that, so that later on, if that gets worse, if your ankle gets worse, you have document that you had an ankle condition, and then it's justifiable to get it increased.
That's after we get out and we're veterans. So
Absolutely.
we have service connection, but just like what Carlos said, we get older and the injury gets worse.
Absolutely.
So that's a really a good point to be made. All right. So we've been talking with Carlos Ramirez, and he is the founder and business owner of a business called Vets Helping Vets.
That's assisting vets.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vets Assisting Vets. But Vets Assisting Vets is helping vets through the process of more than just the disability benefits, right, Carlos?
Absolutely. So we wanted to become a one-stop shop for veterans, where they can get different services offered to them. So the main service is the disability aspect of what we do, trying to consult them and get them increased or add disabilities to their service connection. The second thing that we do is we have a realtor service. So I'm a realtor in Florida, and we have a network of realtors throughout the United States. So whenever a veteran is transitioning from the military and then they want to move back to their hometown, we have a veteran who's a realtor in that state, and that can help you. And one of the services that we provide is a discount. So the average commission, it's anywhere between 6 to 7% for a realtor. Our realtors in our network, the max that they'll charge is 5%. So it's a 1 to 2% discount, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if you factor in a $300,000 or $400,000 home, that 1 to 2% is a lot. So that's one thing that we do, and that's nationwide.
Okay.
You would just go ahead.
Okay. So what we're going to be talking about is more than just the disability benefits. We'll be talking about more from Carlos Ramirez in just a moment. We're going to break away.